Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today we're going to be reading your tea leaves. But first, we're going to start with a card. We're going to start with the Four of Cups, which, awesome. That's a wonderful energy. It is flowing and abundant, right? It is one that brings a sense of plenty, a sense of, well, if you've ever experienced any kind of scarcity, which I'm sure most of us have in some way, or not having enough, or not knowing how to get what you want, this is kind of the opposite, right? So there's a real warm, like if you could think of like on a scale of, freezing ocean to like a sauna or something on the other end. We're in the jacuzzi here, right? We're in the hot tub. We're in the place that is warm and inviting, and that's a wonderful feeling. But that also, a wonderful feeling. My goodness, and yet, right, we must be reminded that in these places, this is where, sometimes foul things can grow, right? This is where we begin to teeter into that sense of overindulgence, or, debauchery, or gluttony, or whatever you want to call it, which can lead us into a really kind of destructive cycle. Okay. Now we had a little, I don't know. Things have been spread out here with the readings. Lots of things going on over here. I'm sure they are for you as well. If anybody, doing this reading, I think it is January 21st, 2026. I was going to say 25. I'm only telling you the date, not because this is when this reading matters. It matters when you click on it and start watching the message. But the date I wanted to add so that you know the context of when this is being recorded. The world is a little bit in a scramble right now, right? Things are, uncertain, I guess is what I would call them. And so I just, I live in the upper Midwest, and that's all I'll say, but we're affected by things that are happening right now in our communities. And so anyways, I just want to lift everybody up here. Not any one side or opinion or circumstance, but everyone, everyone, the collective all. And, I have a lot of love for each and every one of you. I want to bring, energies of ease into our hearts as much as we can, to be a place where you can feel, open. You can be open. You can, rest for a while. And really, you can remain unseen, except for, energy. Well, I'm looking at your energy. Now, we have the number 63. That seems really important. Okay, now it's down here towards the rim. This is a place that the higher up on the rim it is, the more it goes into that kind of metaphysical, ultra terrestrial, cosmic and divine, these kinds of things. So the number 63 is going to be a power number for you. Okay, use this, visualize it. When you visualize the number in your mind, your mind's eye, if you can, notice what color it is. Okay, notice what the color is for you. And I want you to use this color as a kind of energetic beacon. Okay, I want you to use that as a way to charge yourself. Now, you can wear it. You can, you know, scribble it with a crayon on a little piece of paper and put it in your back pocket or whatever. It doesn't matter. Put it, you know, you could get funky with it. Sometimes I like to, you know, have color themes with my food, you know, things like that. But I want you to remember this color, this number 63. Okay. Now, we're going to also take a look. I want to start on this side. We have a person right here, you can see, with the head and the body. Here is the upper torso, and then it looks like maybe a dress or some kind of robe or something like this. I'm just readjusting myself. I was in my seat kind of weird here, and I have like a sweatshirt that got bunched up behind me. It was very uncomfortable over here. Okay, so in the torso area, if you look closely, it looks like a bird right here. You can see the little head and you can see the wings. Now above, also a bird. Okay, so we have somebody who obviously has the vision, obviously has a message, obviously has the heart to bring that message to where it needs to go. Okay, so I imagine, Scorpio, you have recently or in the last cycle of your life been working towards becoming some kind of creative, a writer, some kind of, maybe you're involved in the community action, or you know, maybe you're somebody who creates content, or you're writing, you know, your grassroots writing things on the internet, keeping it old school, doing a blog, or, you know, on one of the social medias, giving your opinions and things like that. I feel that you feel very inspired, but it's like I can't not say it. You know what I mean? It's like when we come to one of those places in our life where you can't keep it in anymore. You know what I mean? Like you've carried this feeling too long as it is, but this is going to be the time where you really decide, like, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to unburden myself because I'm carrying this thing around and it's not even mine to be carrying around, really. Right? Because it's a feeling, it's an idea, it is something that if we know it's there, if we've seen it, yet we decide to ignore it, it becomes part of what? The shadow, right? We stuff it in that dark place where it's probably dank and kind of warm, and what grows in those circumstances, right? Mold, fungus, right? I'm always thinking mold, man. Mold in the walls kind of stuff, right? We don't want that. Nobody wants that. So I feel like for you, it is really no question to have it, the bird in the torso. The heart is a flame, right? You are impassioned. You are sure of yourself. You want your message to be out, free. You want to be free of it too. I mean, that's part of creating something and giving it to the world. You know, it is. It's a purging. Because these ideas, these feelings, they're not ours. We don't own them. There are things that pass through our lives as if we were, the stage that the play is performed upon, right? We're also the actors and the dancers and the chorus and the band and the witnesses and the stagecraft and the fabrics, and we're all the things. We're all the things. But we'll get there. We'll get to that part at some point, right? To start out, though, we have to realize that, I have these things that move me in my life, and I experience them, the sensation of them, the impression of them, the information. It does a dance through my systems. But then, as the Tao would tell you, we do the work, and then we put the work down, and we forget about the work. Because the work is just that. It is just work. It's not you. It's not me. It's something transient. Now I know these are like, I get into these like kind of surreal or existential, tripped out maybe. I'm not, just to be clear. My brain's just a little glitchy. But it's true in whatever true means, right? If true is even a true thing, I don't know. But we somehow have to like find the balance of that dance, right? Of knowing there are things and reasons and meaning to all of this and to what I do, but also it doesn't really mean anything at all. I don't know. How do we get there? I'm not sure. Beyond duality, I don't know. I know a little, but not all of it. So you have your message. You are impassioned. But you are also, and here I see this as I'm thinking it, and I see it. It looks like a person with a bird's head. Okay? That is Thoth in this particular situation. The ibis bird. Right? The sacred ibis bird, which Thoth is sometimes in this form, sometimes in other forms. This is the one that we see a lot in Western Hermeticism, Gnosticism, Theosophy. Well, they kind of draw from whatever, all the things. And so this is our science guy. This is our mathematics guy. This is our magic guy. This is our weaver of universes guy, right? The magician. He is the magi. He is the one that really brings in this energy of being able to take all of the little pieces, the fragments that we gather in reality, all of our parts of our identity, our family, our job, our, what we perceive ourselves as being. I'm a musician, I'm a painter, I'm a cheater, I'm a lover, the song, I don't remember how the song goes, but, a joker, a fool, all these things, and weaves them together. Right? Weaves them together to build out the world that we live in and we perceive. Right? So, when I see this, it tells me not only do you have something to say, you are in a place where you are fully in that work of individuation, of really being tapped into that higher self. Right? Here's the thing, though. The magician is very much kind of a mirror in a way. I mean, they all mirror each other, really, but of the hermit, right? The hermit is the well, the wanderer, the looking for, the explorer, the scientist, the the noble solitary, religious or philosophical or whatever. So this totally is an aspect of the Magi. Now the Magi is a little more fractal in my mind anyways. The Magi has to contain a lot of the archetypes, right? We're getting into like a cosmic being. I always think of, when I think of the Magi, there's this picture of Krishna with, or is it Vishnu? Oh no, I think it's Vishnu, with rings, like planetary rings around his fingers, right? And I think of the Magi as being one that has not mastered the archetypes, because you don't really master them, but has activated many spheres of the tree of life or the tree of being, and these archetypes that dwell within these different spheres. So able to be many things and create many things and envision many things. So I see these two things together, and you have a message, but you're also dwelling in this like really, really higher purpose archetype, I should say. And so I see you in a position where you can build. Okay, we're not talking about destroying here. We're talking about building here. Okay, building and seeding. What does that mean? You're putting your, understanding, your wisdom into the greater consensus, the collective. You are bringing your message to people. Okay, and I see that as being something that is quite mystical, not only for you but for others. But I'm also seeing it as it's profoundly transmuting for you. You're changing greatly, shifting major aspects of your worldviews are changing, due to your ability to kind of tap into this greater understanding of the world and your place in it, and how you have built out your life and all of these things. And now you're in the place where you want to give this message to others, or a message, or many messages, I don't know. But I do feel and we have that hourglass. I do feel that there's a distinct kind of oppressive, almost kind of like it's you versus your family or the people that you kind of associate with. I wonder if you're going through a period of time where you are changing and you're doing things that maybe people don't understand, or your beliefs don't make sense to people, or your message doesn't. And, there might be arguments. There might be, kind of this, what has happened with you kind of vibe. When we go through continued awakenings in our lives, which we do, everybody always talks about like, oh, I'm awake now. I just, I'm starting to see, the man behind the curtain, or, whatever. This kind of like, I am now aware, right? Which is fantastic. That's a wonderful arrival, right? And it's the beginning, or it's really not the beginning, but it is a major rite of passage for the conscious and growing in consciousness being, right? But it's not the only awakening. like, do not be mistaken in that. There are many awakenings, and some profoundly beautiful and, kind of reaffirming. Others devastating. Absolutely. Tower moments. Okay? And sometimes we go through awakenings that misalign us from what we have been kind of in orbit with. And so I feel like for you, this has been something where it's not overnight. Not all of a sudden do you believe some wild thing that your family's like afraid. Like, what's going on with you? Did you have a stroke or something? You have been growing into this. And I growing into it, like unfurling into it. You're becoming more and more aligned with your authentic being. And I feel like you must come from a place where that is not something that it's frowned upon. Right? It's indulgent. It's, where are your manners? Or don't you know any better? Or, we don't burden others with our problems and this kind of thing. And I don't think that's you at all. Could it be anybody? I don't know. I don't think so. But it is the conditioning a lot of us know, right? And when we start to really say, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, I'm not, I might feel a little shame or a little embarrassed or a little guilty about it, but I'm just going to say what it is because I don't want to carry it around. I don't want it to become something it's not supposed to become. People don't like that. People don't like real people. And I don't mean real, like keep it real and be mean and, out of pocket and that kind of thing, which is, of course, that funny old skit that Chappelle did. But no, I mean just being who you are and saying what you feel. Being honest. Ugh. Nobody, no, I'm kidding. Most people do not feel comfortable around honest people. And most people, and this is what I was going to say, really don't feel comfortable around women who are honest. And again, not in a harsh way, not in a I have an agenda or I'm trying to hurt you or this is passive aggressive. That's not what I mean. Just saying what you feel, being honest. This is how I feel right now, Not this is how whatever's making me feel, but this is how I feel. For better or worse, this is how I feel. Or this is what I think. It's not set in stone. But still, I think most people are uncomfortable when you stop kind of watering things down. And I'm not saying make it, super spicy, but just simply stating, like imagine, okay, somebody that you work with who you like and they like you. They might be, a little more senior to you or something. There's a little bit of the power dynamic, although that doesn't really matter. You're people, whatever. And they invite you to something that you just don't like. And you say, I would love to do something with you, but that's something I just really don't like doing. Now, it sounds fine. To me, that sounds fine. To a lot of us, though, and this, I had to really work hard, and I still fail sometimes, but you wonder, well, that might make me seem difficult, or that might make me feel, or they might feel like I'm not grateful, or I don't like them, or, down the list, right? Especially if it's somebody that you feel like there's a more complicated thing with. but we should be able to say, no, I don't really like doing that. And that, I'm not going to spend the rest of my night or whatever doing something I don't want to do with you. You know what I mean? Like, but that's difficult. However, I feel like you are in an era where you are getting into that place where you will just say what it is. And I don't think that's easy all the time, even though you are a Scorpio. And it's not about the moment of you having to say it to somebody, or to just, to your family here. That's what it feels like to me. Your family here. It just feels almost like, I don't want to get too deeply into all this, but it does feel like, all of a sudden you're the bad guy because you are just saying things for what they are, like the facts of things, not even necessarily the emotional aspect of it. And it feels like, you are running into this place where it's like, I'm becoming somebody else. I'm evolving in my life, as we all do. And the way that I am choosing to express myself feels confronting to my family. They don't like it. They have this idea of who I am, and that's maybe who I was at one time. But now, here we are in this conflict because I'm not going to, kind of compromise on who I am and who I want to be and how I want to feel in my life, which, from what I've seen, is to be, open and honest where you feel safe to do so. And so I feel like, and this is getting dry, I feel like this stuff with your family is almost kind of like, it's been going on, like with the time thing, it just tells me that it has been going on for a while. It has been kind of, the pressure point has been going up and up and up. And now you're to the point where, and this is kind of the big one for me here, is we have the horse with a person, and you can kind of see it better this way, a person sitting on it, right? And I see over here the tower, okay, but not the tower burning, but we also have, and it looks like a person here who has a bird over their head. And it feels like to me, you are on this journey forward, rebuilding, or not rebuilding, maybe building for the first time, this pillar in your life, this beautiful thing. And you've had to kind of maybe, and you will maybe feel a little lonely in that, but it will be some of the most productive work, the deepest work that you do in your life. So you will be going through kind of a shedding of the old, and that involves some of the people in your life, and that involves the priorities in your life. Now, it seems, because we have the tower that looks very beautifully built. You can see again, look at this thing. Here's the base of it. And then we got up the tower here, right? And so I feel it's not an easy time. It is a beginning that there's a little bit of saltiness. That's what I'm going to say. There's a little bit of saltiness, and I get it. But the hard work, the difficult places, those are where things change in a way that matters. And I think this is definitely it. This is your time to really decide who you're going to be. Not always, but at least for now, right? And I think that is very freeing for Scorpio. Now, we have the letter R. We also have, I I keep getting the sense of like a veteran, but not super older. You think anyways, for me, I think of a veteran, I'm like thinking of, like people who served in Korea or Vietnam or even World War II, but so many veterans of all ages. And the number 9 and the letter M seems important as well. We had R, a veteran, the number 9, and M. And there's something about the smell of flowers that it is almost sickening. That's such a, like, it's like so abundant that it makes them feel sick. That's what they're showing me. The strange thing is that I don't know that this person is passed. I don't think so. I wonder if they're still like in their corporeal form. I feel like there's a sense of agony, maybe emotional, and a wanting to connect with you. I think that's the big thing here. There's somebody, I don't know if it's like a family member or friend or maybe an ex. So, we'll see. If you have anything to add or you know who that might be and you want to share, you don't have to. Put it in the comments. All right. And then we're going to do our last 3 lucky numbers. Number 38. Number 11. Number 50. All right, Scorpio, I love you. If you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, thank you for being here with me. Please be safe and take care of each other. I love you. Bye-bye.